Hey, good morning, Facebook and Get Inspired Michiana. This is James Savannah, our very dear friend. I'm Diane Bennett with Inspired Homes in Michigan and Remax 100 in Indiana, and you are on Friday Morning Life Inspired, where we talk all about somebody's life, somebody's ... moment where God kind of turned your feet towards Him, and then how your life is now inspired following God.
Man, that's deep.
So we're going to ask James 3 questions. So if there was one specific turning point, because most people have several, that really pointed you to pursuing God daily, that you want to share with us, what would be the things and the events in your life that led up to that turning point? So first tell us about things that led up to something.
Ooh, the lead up. How much time do I have? No,
You can do whatever you need.
So I guess my lead up would start with my high school football career. I had built my entire identity about myself around playing football. I guess you could consider myself, I wasn't one of the popular kids, but I wasn't one of the unliked kids, so I felt like right there in the middle. And sometimes those kids get forgotten about. So when I started excelling at football, it was like, okay, I have something that I can lean on. This is my life. This is what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to make it to the NFL. And when I received my full ride scholarship to the University of Tennessee Martin, I was so excited. I was like, yes, this is it. This is what I've been dreaming about. This is the plan for my life. So come time to go, sometimes your body starts telling you that it's not the right thing to do. I mean, I started breaking down. I started having injuries, concussions. Wow. And the hardest decision of my life was walking away from a full ride scholarship, going back home to Georgia, just not knowing what to do, not feeling like I had any purpose anymore, not feeling like I had any direction, just not feeling like I was important in life because I felt my importance was attached to football.
Wow.
And because my dad, he walked away when I was in 5th grade, so I really didn't have that example to lean on growing up. I had my grandfather, but he passed away when I was in 5th grade. So I didn't really have any male influences in my own life to kind of say, hey, get back up, do this, do that. I kind of had to figure things out on my own. So my high school sweetheart at the time had moved up here to Indiana because this is where she was from. And I was kind of wallowing in my mom's basement for a while. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll make a change. I don't know anything about Indiana. Moving into Notre Dame country, that seems pretty cool, Okay. So moved up here to Indiana in 2007. Got married to my high school sweetheart. We had 3 beautiful children, Maya, Haley, and James Jr. They're so awesome and amazing. They're funny.
Yeah.
Watch the videos about them. But I started to develop that, I'm a dad, I'm a family man. I was volunteering at church. I had a steady job. I felt like, okay, this is my life, built around my family, built around being a father, built around just being that provider. So in 2010, my mother-in-law passed away. And my wife at the time was really having a hard time dealing with that, which inadvertently caused some stress in our own relationship. Things started going kind of awry, started going kind of crazy, which led to both of us coming to the decision that maybe we should part ways. So in 2011, I officially got divorced from my wife. Her and my children moved away from me. So that was the hardest and lowest point of my life because without football, I had built my whole identity around being a family man, being a father, being a provider, and I felt I was doing a good job. So when that came to a screeching halt, that wrecked my world. I became addicted to painkillers. I was drinking every weekend. I stopped going to church. I kind of shunned myself from everybody in the world. because I was back at that point where I had no purpose, no direction. I wasn't important to anybody. And that is my ... moment when God came in and showed me love, even in my lowest point. Because up to that point, I knew God. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so I wasn't really taught about relationship with God, and how he is influential in your life, and he always has your back, and he's your father and friend, and just comforts you and keeps you. I had no concept of what that was. The only reason I started going to church was to please my then wife. She was in church all her life, and I was like, okay, we're married, so I'll go. So when God came in my lowest point, and I remember specifically one day I was sitting on my couch and I got a message from one of the students at the church that I was going to. She sent me a message and said, James, where have you been? We love you. We miss seeing your face. What are you doing? You have to come back. You mean so much to us. And it was like, at that moment, it was like, really? I didn't think I meant anything to anybody. The potential I thought I had was out the door. I blew my marriage. I blew being a father. So why would anybody love me? But I wholeheartly believe God sent her
For sure.
to relay that message, that not only she loves me, but he loves me. And that's really when I got up, started turning my life around, started coming back to church, and actually started pursuing relationship with God. He just spun my whole life. 2015, my children came back and started living with me full time. And it's just been a fun ride ever since.
Yeah. So the turning point would be when you're at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And when you have conversations with other people, do you find a lot of people's turning points are at the bottom?
Definitely. Where they feel that hopelessness, where they feel they've gotten stuck, they've burned out all their opportunities, they have gotten to a low point and there's no way out, they don't have any purpose. And for me, I wholeheartedly believe that's when God speaks to you the most. And that's when he just extends his hand and say, hey, I got you. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter what you've said. It doesn't matter where you've been. I still love you regardless. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't have to prove anything to me. I will love you regardless of what you do, no matter how many times you fall down, no matter how many times you screw up in your own mind. I'm always going to be there for you. I'm always going to lift you up wherever you are. And that's when I started truly believing that. And that's when I really felt my purpose coming back. And that's when I really started becoming more and more comfortable with my testimony as well. Because I truly believe God brought me through all of that to share my story and be there for others that go through the similar situations.
For sure.
Because sometimes when you're there, you feel like you're being judged. You feel like you're being looked at. You feel like you're being ridiculed. You feel like...
You know what I think? You are. You are being judged and ridiculed by the devil. He just wants to go... And
exactly.
He is ridiculing you. And
he just pulls on all those strings,
But it doesn't matter what he says because he's wrong.
Exactly.
So... That's awesome. So, how did you feel God's love? You said you got the one text from the one student. You must have worked with the students when you were at the church?
Yes, ma'am. So while I was married, I started volunteering in the youth group. And I developed relationship with a lot of the students. We had fun. We played baseball together. We had a Pac-Man game in the youth room. I used to smash them on Pac-Man. They were not ready for me on Pac-Man, But yeah, when I left, it was really hard because I didn't think they would accept me back. I didn't think anybody in the church would accept me back because I had built myself up to a level, and I felt I let everybody down when I started going through my own situations. So when I came back, I told her, you know what? Look, I'll come on Sunday. I'll say hi, I'll hug, and I'll bounce. When I came back to church and everybody was like, oh my God, James, hi, giving you hugs, just wondering about your life and actually caring and just speaking life. It's like, man, I thought I was going to sneak out the back door, but God knows. And I think he really just put that light on me, and everybody was just like, oh, yes. And it was a love I've never felt before. It was a genuine love. And it just felt like God was saying, this is what true love feels like. My true love trumps anything you've ever felt in your life. And that's when I started running wholeheartedly towards that relationship with him. And, it's just an amazing feeling.
So what does that look like? How do you run wholeheartedly towards God? So that's your inspired life. What is that?
Well, first and foremost, my prayer life, actually knowing that he hears when I'm talking to him. And it doesn't have to be a scripted, it doesn't have to be thou shalt and he thine and things like that. It's just you being real with him. It's like, God, I'm in a rough place and talk to me. What's up? What's going on? Can you just holler at me for one moment?
Right.
And he responds just like that. And then just diving into the word and just realizing his truths about your life.
So you read the Bible?
Yes, definitely. Daily. I have to, because the enemy, he is very tricky and very smart, and he will pull on those strings. He knows what buttons to push. He knows the perfect things to say that will trigger those muscles that are still sore from when you were down, So you have to start believing the words that God says about you, because it is his perfect truth in your life that prevails over any lie that has been spoken about you. It's just amazing what happens when you actually start getting into prayer, getting into the word, and start fellowshipping with people who have similar mindsets, just surrounding yourself with positivity instead of surrounding yourself with negativity. People that will have your back but still hold you accountable, that aren't there just to say what you want to hear, but they'll say what you need to hear. I guess that's just what purpose looks like for me.
So purpose is not football for James Savannah.
Nope. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love football. Go Falcons. Yes.
Go Tide. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I know you're a Georgia Bulldog fan too, right?
I'm a techie.
Oh,
I'm
you're
a
techie.
I'm a
Georgia
techie.
Tech.
I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech and a heck of an engineer.
Oh. And then, okay, so your football's not the purpose, and even though you are a great dad and have baby number 4 with your new wife,
Izzy,
that's not your purpose either. Being husband and dad is not your purpose. So, what's James's purpose?
Ooh,
Has he kind of specifically told you yet?
James's purpose is letting my story speak and sharing my story so others can let their story speak. Just shining the light of God and loving people where they are, speaking life into their lives, speaking life into their situations,
That's
speaking
awesome.
life exactly where they're at. And coming to terms with that purpose is so exciting.
That's awesome.
Because God will just start opening those doors. Like, you don't have to force them open. You don't have to kick them in. God will here you go. Walk in. Oh, thanks, God.
And so if you go towards a door and it's shut, I thought you just said God opens the doors.
He does.
So why would he shut some?
To keep you on track to just keep you out of... God will shut a door because sometimes our own human intuition will drive us to try to force things. And I've done that in life many, many times. I've tried to force things that shouldn't have been there. I've tried to do things where I put God behind me and said, okay, I'm going to do this, and God, you bless it. Instead of saying, God, you come to the forefront and show me if I'm supposed to do this and lead me through it. So it's a tough mindset to flip, because you want to be ambitious and you want to have drive, but you have to still be led at the same time.
Right.
So you can still have that ambition and drive, but towards where God is leading you. And it's such a freeing moment too, because you don't feel the pressure to have to perform all the time. You don't have that pressure to appease people. You don't have that pressure to put on that mask or put on that face just to make sure people are see you in a certain light.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter. God sees you in the light. God is leading you, so he'll do the rest.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sharing today.
Oh, most definitely.
So Facebook, thanks for watching James's story. And we ask that you'd share it with anybody you think it'll encourage. Anybody that maybe is headed down and they're kind of going towards the bottom of their story. And maybe they can find out that God's allowed them to go there to get them to look up. So,
Amen.
Yeah. And if you want to have coffee or something like that with James, I know he would do that with you. So message us here and we'll put you in touch with James. And if you know other stories that should be shared, message us those too. We'd love to share them. So thanks for watching Facebook. Y'all have a great day.
Woo, have a good one.
It's a beautiful one out there.